What is up, you guys? So today we are obviously going thrifting because we're in the car, but we are gonna get into the next trend of the season, and that is mixing prints, or just prints in general. I actually have some errands to run, but I felt like it would be a great time to film this video because I will be stopping at the thrift store, and I always like to give you guys the in-action take on the trends. So what are we doing? I'm gonna get coffee. I have to go get some hair dye because your girl got some extensions that are my hair texture that I need to dye to match. Video coming on that soon. Well, not the whole dyeing process, but I'll show you what the extensions look like, obviously. And then we're gonna hit up the thrift store because I mean, like, it's Saturday, why not? Yeah, I need to go get my coffee real quick because I need to take my allergy pill. And just so you guys know, for all of those who reached out to me about the fires, because you know I live in the LA area, thank you so much. I'm literally looking at flames on a hill right now. If I could show you, I would. If I get into a good place where I can show you, I definitely will. But yeah, I planned on filming this video yesterday, but I was literally blocked within like a 3 to 4 mile radius of my area because all the freeways going in and out of my city were shut down. There were tons of streets that were just so completely backed up with traffic, it was like damn near impossible to get out. So yeah, this is like my first day actually being able to get out, and it smells like smoke, but you know, we're gonna get through it. We're gonna do this because this happens in my city every single year around this time, so it's not really nothing new, but at least this time we didn't have to get evacuated. Now to get some coffee. All right, we have the coffee in hand. Now I just need to do a return. By the way, I have a lot of like things that are new that I've gotten recently. I think I'm gonna do a haul for you guys because I know with thrifting it's hard to, obviously you can't get what I'm showing you even if you think it's amazing. So I'm gonna show you some things you can get. So that haul is coming up, but we need to go. So we are officially at the thrift store. Let's talk about these trends. Max Mara was one of my favorite shows as far as the mixing prints and the textures and patterns went. This look right here was my favorite of all of Fashion Week. I just love the way that they mixed animal prints with other prints. They used all of the same tones and complementary materials so that they just looked so good together. I also like the way they utilized like croc print in like textured leather to mix with animal print, because that's also another form of mixing prints and mixing animal prints. They are all like animal textures. So Max Mara did this really, really well. Last year, I actually thrifted an express sweater that is shorter. It's not a dress like this, but it is this exact same print, and it is a fluffy material just like this. It's done in like burgundy and black. So I'll definitely take this show and use it as inspiration to style that up. But even like this look right here, different textures, different animal prints, it's just so breathtaking to look at. Versace has definitely always been known for doing crazy prints and textures, so this show is obviously no surprise, but I do love the color palette that they chose for this season of looks. They definitely went with their typical Versace style, but they added some really rich textures. They did have this skirt in particular that you will see coming up that was done in like a croc, this one right here, and patent leather, which to me is a great way to mix prints if you don't want to go all in with the colors and the actual like mixing leopard with zebra. But even just mixing prints in general, they always do a really good job of it, and I am always so impressed when I see their shows with exactly how they do it. They threw in some animal print, which of course I love. Aside from Max Mara, Etro is a designer that I really love this season. I've always been a big fan of theirs, but this year I just love the way they used textures. They have so many, like, I don't know how to explain these. These are like, I guess you can call these different variations of a brocade fabric and quilting, what you would see and imagine your grandmother's couch to look like, but make it fashion. I love the way that they did the silhouettes. I like the way that they brought a modern take. And take a look at these shoulders on this sweater. H&M actually has a ton of pieces coming in this season that have this same silhouette, but you will see, sneak peek, why I pick up certain things. And Isabel Marant has also been known to do this shoulder in the last several shows of hers as well. But this look, I mean, come on, breathtaking and modern in a very unique way. I also managed to pick up a blouse that looks like these pants or has a very similar print as these pants in a previous thrift trip. I'm not going to be able to show you in this video because it was not recorded, but you will definitely see it styled in some upcoming What I Wore videos. So the trend that we are seeing a lot of this season is going to be like mixing prints, animal prints in general. Animal prints are always a thing, but definitely a thing this season. I always love when I can be inspired by a show. So we're going to go in here and see what kind of prints we can find. Obviously, it's thrifting. There are no guarantees. You're not guaranteed to find anything, but I feel like we should be able to find at least something. So let's go. Because we're doing fall winter trends, of course the first place I'm going to head into is the blazers, sweaters, jackets, that area. And when I got over there, the first print that I kind of ran into that stuck out to me was this one right here, which reminded me a lot of the prints of the Etro show, but I just didn't really care for the item itself. I also came across this beautiful piece. It was a very nice satin top with a lace bottom attached. These types of items are perfect for layering, so I did pick this up to try it on because I wanted to see how it looked on. When looking at a section like this, which is basically blazers and jackets combined, I kind of skim it typically and just kind of go for the patterns that stick out to me, like this one right here. This is a very beautiful print and fabric that does remind me of the same fabrics on the Etro show. But if I don't really like the silhouette or care for the price or even the item itself, I kind of just move on. But this just kind of makes it much quicker for me to skim versus just like looking through every single piece. When I first came across this sweater, I was absolutely obsessed. I thought all the colorful stars made it so fun. And this is, you know, it's kind of like a print as well. That red tag on it shows me that it came from the dry cleaners and somebody just probably forgot to pick it up. So I did want to grab this because of the length and the style of the sweater and try it on and just see what it looked like. I really loved this Worthington jacket. I loved the print and the material, which, you know, spoiler alert, this is actually part of a upcoming trend we'll be discussing, but I have a ton of stuff like that already, so I just kind of passed on it. But I did come across this blouse. I love the button detail on it, and I actually do like the color, but something about the material just didn't really feel that great to me, so I put it back. I came across this Ralph Lauren blazer. I've actually had an off-white or cream blazer on my wish list for a while now, but thrifting it, of course, it's really hard to find, especially with no stains or damage. So I picked this one up to try it on just to kind of see how it looked because I loved the length of it and I loved the color, and it actually had no damage whatsoever. I loved this 100% suede jacket when I came across it. It's by the brand Ann Taylor, and I loved this quilted pattern on it. That tag shows me that it came from the cleaners, and again, somebody just probably didn't pick it up, but it wasn't my size, so I had to pass. But for $9.99, this was a great find. Hopefully somebody finds it who is just as obsessed with it as I am. I also came across a few different styles of denim jackets, but one in particular that really caught my eye was this one. I loved that embroidered detail along the top. Prints like that are really great to mix with other prints because it's a smaller section of your outfit and doesn't overwhelm the entire thing.
I was obsessed with this when I first saw it. It gave me all the Isabel Marant vibes, but I looked at that price and I was like, no, we're gonna wait on this one. But it was a great piece. Loved all the detail across the front, and you know, if it were to go on like their half off or dollar sale, I would definitely pick it up. I also really loved this blazer because it was double breasted, but I didn't pick it up because it wasn't my size. And even though this isn't one of the trends we're looking for, I really liked this suede jacket as well. This navy blazer was also a really solid piece. If I didn't already have one, I would have probably gotten this one, but mine even has like gold buttons already on it as well, so they would have been way too similar and I literally would have been picking up a duplicate piece, but the price was great. If I hadn't already just picked up a leather blazer, I probably would have considered this one because it's not as oversized as mine, and the leather quality on this one was really great. The price was also really good as well. I did go over to the blouses, which, as you can see, they have a ton of prints. I loved this one. Definitely reminded me of some of the prints that Versace had as far as the colorway, but I do want to talk about this shirt right here. This really looked like some of the prints that were on the Etro Runway. I did end up grabbing this to try it on because I wanted to see what it looked like. But this red one right here, which is in a satin material, has a more low-key print. So if you want to mix prints but you're not into mixing loud prints, this would be a great way to go.
So I found a few things. These are the things that we are going to investigate further. I'm gonna try these on and then I'll show you what they look like.
I wanted to give you guys a little sneak peek of my outfit of the day. Hint, hint, this bodysuit will be in an upcoming haul where you can purchase it.
I actually have something that is by this brand, but I like my shirts to fit a little bit more oversized than this. But it's still really cute. And it is $6.99. It's 100% silk too, so that's good.
The rest of this try-on is going to be a voiceover because it got really loud in the store, but I noticed this fraying at the bottom of the sweater once I got it into the fitting room. I do like it, but even just aside from the fraying, the material was really itchy. I could have gotten with the fraying because it reminds me of Wild Fox sweaters, but yeah, it was just way too itchy and I knew I wouldn't wear it. For this piece, it wasn't as loose as I needed it to be for it to be layerable. I mean, it was just okay. I definitely would have cut that ribbon off the side, but in the end, I decided to pass on it because it just wasn't sitting right. Now for this blazer, you will see me thumbs it up because I do like it. It's cute and I like the fit, but I just prefer a double-breasted blazer, and I feel like this one needed like hardware for the buttons in order for it to not look like a doctor's coat. So yeah, I also lucked into these two amazing blouses that are almost identical prints to what we saw in the Max Mara show. This one that I have on has shoulder pads in it, which gave it some structure, and I loved that. These are actually a size 22, so I could totally wear a black slip under it and wear them as dresses. This one has no shoulder pads, as you can see, which is cool, but I ended up having to pass on this one because it had some snagging and stains on it that I didn't notice until I got it into the fitting room. This one I loved. It was also a great print, but again, I noticed some snagging and holes on this one as soon as I got it into the fitting room. I wanted to try this dress on because I felt like if I cut that cream portion out in the middle, like starting at like the waist, it would make a really cool top, which is why you kind of see me tuck it in. But in the end, I just didn't want to put in the work required to turn this into something I would actually wear, because as the dress by itself and standing alone, it wasn't very flattering at all to me. I came across this dress in the Halloween section and I absolutely love the shoulders on it. It is long and I'm not sure how I feel about it being long. I feel like it needs a split or something to make it flow a little bit better, but I'm gonna try it out, and if I don't enjoy wearing it as a maxi, I'll definitely turn it into a top. I also found this jacket in the Halloween section, and boy am I glad I decided to go over there and look. I love the shoulder detail on this. It's a black wool coat, and I have had one of these on my wish list for a while now because, believe it or not, I don't actually have one. And it was only $19.99, so I thought it was a great deal. They also had a lot of sweaters like this in this section as well if you wanted to do like the layering holiday effects, but I have a ton of sweaters, so I definitely wasn't trying to get a new one. I came across this really cool button up. I loved the print. I loved the detail around the collar. This was clearly a men's shirt, but the material was just a little bit too stiff for me. It felt like a really stiff, itchy linen. The price was great. If the material was more comfortable, I probably for sure would have picked this one up. But yeah, I went over to the Halloween section in the store because I don't typically go to this one. Again, it's still not as good as the one that I go to, but you know, they had some pieces like this. This was a skirt. I thought it was very unique as far as the details went, but it wasn't my size. I also loved this shirt right here and the print. It was a little bright and not really something I would wear, but I could definitely appreciate it for what it was. I definitely wanted to show you guys what this jacket looked like on. I love, again, the shoulder detail. It was a great length. I feel like this was a size petite because the shoulders and the sleeves fit me pretty perfectly. So as soon as I saw how great this looked on, it was a must-have for me. I had to get it. I also wanted to show you these shoes. You know, the square toe is in, and I liked them. The leather quality was great. They had like a little distressing on it, which I didn't mind because leather typically distresses really well. But, you know, I ended up passing on these.
We are at the last location of the day. I don't really expect to find anything here that I can't live without, but I did want to go see what other trends we can find and then, yeah, wrap up the day. I've gotten so much lately that I'm really trying to limit how much I actually buy because I don't need anything. You guys know I don't need anything at all. Sometimes you just can't kick the thrifting habit though. It's like it is what it is. It's kind of like in you. The last store did not have carts. They never have carts, so it was really hard for me to film. I hope that it was okay that I did a voiceover for that for you guys because I've done a voiceover for a thrift with me before, and I did see another subscriber suggest it as well in my last video or my last thrift with me video, and I can do those more if you guys like the voiceover, so I could really like get in depth into what I'm thinking when I'm looking at things and deciding to pick it up or not pick it up. So comment down below if you do prefer a voiceover for the thrift with me's, and I'll start doing that because honestly it's easier. It's way easier for me to do that, so I could just focus on filming and not speaking.
I loved the print on these ankle boots. They weren't my size, or I probably would have gotten them, but I just wanted to show you guys this print because I thought it was so cool. It looks like a small like cheetah print. I also really loved this bag. It reminded me of all the Max Mara vibes and the Etro vibes. I liked all the different prints on it. It was actually a really good quality leather on the outside, but the inside was what was like made cheaply, so I ended up passing on it. I also saw this, which reminded me of the Etro vibes. I love the material, just the bag itself is not really my style. I really loved this leather blazer, especially the color it came in. It was like a maroon brown color, but it was a stiffer leather, and I kind of like softer leathers for my blazers, and I really had to think about if I would wear it or not, and I knew I probably wouldn't wear it that much. I loved this pink blazer, but it reminded me of the Ralph Lauren white blazer where I feel like it just needed some hardware to make it look better. I went over to the prints section for the blouses, and as you can see, there were quite a few different prints. I came across some that I liked, but nothing that was really calling my name. I did see this dress, which was more of a mini dress, and I absolutely loved the button detail. But when I went to try it on, it was just a little bit too fitted. This was actually size medium, and it looked great, but it was like a little bit too short. The price was right, and I was really tempted, but in the end, I ended up passing. I did see these pants. I loved the print on the pants, and they had a ton of pants that had like different prints on it, but none of them were really like calling my name. I love this denim two-piece set. It had like a denim jacket with the skirt, and the embroidery and details was pretty cute. It wasn't 100% my taste, which is why I didn't pick it up, and also the price. Didn't want to make me take a risk on it, but I did come across these leather pants. These had the button-up fly. They were in that nice chocolate brown that is so in for the season. And for $12.99, that's not bad at all, but again, they weren't my size. I really loved this set, and the blazer would have fit me perfectly, but the skirt was too small, and I didn't want to pay $20 for the whole set, knowing I could only wear the blazer.
All right, sorry the lighting is worse than it was earlier because it's now starting to become evening, but just as I suspected, I knew I wasn't going to find that much in there that I actually wanted, but I did find these babies right here. We know the square toe is in, and they pretty much look brand new, and they're real leather, so I am so pumped about these. And of course they fit into the animal print trend. So that is all I have today for you guys for thrifting trends. I just wanted to kind of show you that of course you can find all of the runway trends out there if you just look. Let's talk about it. Like, how much of a look is this? Mixing prints and a trend. This is like the epitome of that. So super pumped about it. I will definitely be styling those together, I'm sure. But I had such a good time thrifting with you guys today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.